Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, we have an exciting tutorial for you. We'll be setting up a V2Ray proxy on an Ubuntu 22.04 VPS. This will allow you to bypass internet restrictions and enhance your online privacy. So, let's dive right in. V2Ray is a powerful open-source network proxy that's designed to help bypass internet censorship, increase online privacy, and improve network performance. It's highly flexible and supports multiple protocols, making it suitable for a wide range of applications. Overall, V2Ray is a powerful tool for managing network traffic, especially in situations where users need to bypass censorship or improve their online privacy. However, it's important to use such tools responsibly and in compliance with local laws and regulations. To follow this tutorial, you will need a VPS virtual private server that can access blocked websites freely outside of your country or internet filtering system. I recommend Kamatera VPS. Kamatera is a Germany-based web hosting and cloud service provider. They offer a range of services including web hosting, virtual private servers VPS, dedicated servers, domain registration, and related services. Kamatera is known for providing affordable hosting solutions with a focus on high-quality hardware and reliable customer support. If you want to grab yourself a VPS from Kamatera, check the link in the description. When you purchase a VPS from Kamatera, you will have a dashboard like this where you can manage your VPS. Once you have your VPS, the first step is to connect to your VPS. You'll need an SSH client like PuTTY when you are on a Windows machine. Since I'm on a Linux machine, I will just use the terminal. Once you're connected, the next step is to make sure your system is up to date. Run the following commands. Install both curl and unzip. This is useful for tasks like downloading files from the internet using curl and extracting zip archives. Now, let's download and install V2Ray. We'll be using the official bash script provided by the V2Ray project. Run the installation script by using this command. You can check the status by running this command. As you can see, it is not active. We need to activate it. Run the following command to activate it. Let us check the status again. As you can see, the service is now running. To enable it to auto-start at system boot time, run the following command. With V2Ray installed, it's time to configure it. Open the main configuration using a command line text editor such as nano. Clear the contents of this file, and then insert the following lines. Substitute the ID with a set of randomly generated characters formatted as a UUID. There are plenty UUID tools online that can generate one for you. After saving and closing the file, the V2Ray server will be set to listen on port 10,000. To implement the changes you have just made, restart the V2Ray service. You can check the listening port by running this command. Let us now install the Nginx web server. You can do that by running this command. Let us now create a virtual host file for V2Ray. Open the config file by running this command. Add the following lines into this file, ensuring to substitute example.com with your actual domain name. Test the Nginx configuration by running this command. As you can see, it says successful. Restart the service by running this command. Let us now install HTTPS on the server. Implementing HTTPS with V2Ray helps to create a secure and trustworthy connection between the client and server, ensuring the privacy and integrity of the data being transmitted. It's an important step in safeguarding user information and maintaining the overall security of the network. We are going to use Let's Encrypt. Enter your actual domain name here. I have made a mistake. I entered a wrong domain. This is not the domain pointing to my VPS server. Let me change the configuration file I configured earlier. This is the domain that is pointing to this VPS. As you can see now, that is the IP address of Contabo pointing to the domain. Since I made changes to the Nginx config file, I need to restart the service. Let me run the command that failed again with the actual domain name pointing to this VPS. The certificate has now been installed successfully. You can verify certbot auto renewal by running this command. I will now exit from the VPS and install and configure V2Ray on the Ubuntu machine I'm using to connect to the VPS. This computer will act as the client computer, so let me install V2Ray on the client Linux desktop. The process is the same as on the server. Let us now edit the configuration file. This is the only different part from the server installation. The configs on the client are different from the server. Add the following lines to the config file. The ID parameter in the V2Ray client should align with the ID parameter set on the V2Ray server. Think of it as a pre-shared password for authentication. Let me connect to the server and copy the ID. Also change the domain name and then save the config file. The listening port is 1090, so the client will listen on port 1090. Let us now configure a web browser like Firefox and try to surf the internet using the proxy server we have just installed and configured. On Firefox, open the settings and go to Network Settings. That is where you can change the proxy settings. Within the Connection Settings window, opt for Manual Proxy Configuration. Next, choose SOCKS version 5 since V2Ray functions as a SOCKS 5 proxy. Insert 127.0.0.1 into the SOCKS host field and set the port to 1090. Confirm that the option Proxy DNS when using SOCKS version 5 is activated. Finally, click OK to implement these adjustments. Let us now check if we are able to surf the internet using the proxy server. It seems everything is working fine. Let us check the IP address the client machine is using to connect to the internet. Since we are using a Kamatera VPS, it should be the IP address of the Kamatera VPS. So this is the IP address of the Kamatera VPS. So if you want to connect to a certain country or region, just select the region or country when purchasing the VPS. If Kamatera does not have a region you want, you can check DigitalOcean or other VPS providers. The links are in the video description. On Google Chrome, you can use this extension to connect to the proxy. I have already installed it on my Chrome browser. When you are done, just click on Apply Changes and you will be able to connect to the proxy server on Chrome. I'm now on a Windows machine. Let us see how you can connect a Windows client machine to the V2Ray Proxy server. You can download the Windows Client app from GitHub. Next, extract the file after it has been downloaded. In the extracted folder, open the config file and remove all the configs in there. Paste in the following configs. Enter the domain name pointed to the VPS. Next, enter the ID. The ID on the V2Ray client must match the ID parameter on the V2Ray server. Open PowerShell and start the V2Ray client application. The V2Ray folder is on the desktop, so let us change the directory to the desktop. start the V2 service by running this command. As you can see, the service has started. Let us now try to connect to the proxy using a browser like Firefox. As you can see, that is the IP address of my Kamatera VPS server with a V2Ray Proxy in German. This means everything is working fine. And there you have it. You've successfully set up a V2Ray Proxy on your Ubuntu 22.04 VPS. This will greatly enhance your online privacy and allow you to bypass internet restrictions. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more in-depth tech tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.